You feel it too, right? The tension, the uncertainty. The feeling that one move this offseason could completely reshape the San Francisco 49ers. And that move starts with one name, Mac Jones. Let's be real for a second. Quarterback is the most important position in sports. And when you have depth at that position, especially proven depth, the entire league notices. Right now, there are multiple quarterback-needy teams scanning the market. The Steelers, the Vikings, the Titans, maybe even a surprise team that thinks it's just one steady arm away from making a serious run. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If you're the 49ers, you have something they want. Mac Jones proved last season he can step in and win games. He kept this team steady when things could have spiraled. You don't make the playoffs without competent quarterback play behind Brock Purdy. That's just reality. So when John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan say publicly they're not looking to move him, I get it. Why would you? Voluntarily weaken your quarterback room? But let me ask you this, if a team calls and offers today to picks, do you hang up seriously? If you're sitting in that draft room and someone says, "We'll give you a second and a third," are you really saying no because you love your backup quarterback? Especially when you have holes at offensive line, holes at pass rusher, a massive hole at safety. Type trade or keep in the comments right now. I want to see where you stand. Kyle Shanahan has built a reputation around rehabilitating quarterbacks. We've seen it before. When players enter the system, they look sharper, more decisive, more confident. That matters around the league. That boosts Mac Jones' value whether people want to admit it or not. Teams see it and think, if Shanahan got that out of him, what can we do? And let's not ignore the economics of this. You can only play one quarterback at a time. Brock Purdy is the guy. He's earned that. So the question becomes a simple roster. Math. Do you keep luxury depth, or do you convert it into multiple assets that fix real weaknesses because this roster isn't perfect? Not even close. You need help on the offensive line. You need another pass rusher who can actually win off the edge. And at safety, that might be the biggest concern of them all. If you trade Mac Jones, that draft capital has to go somewhere meaningful. It can't just sit there. If you're being honest with yourself, you felt it all season long. Every time the ball went over the top, every time a tight end slipped into the seam, every time a receiver got behind the secondary and you held your breath. The safety position wasn't just a weakness, it was a liability. And for a team with Super Bowl expectations, that's not acceptable. Let's stop pretending safety isn't a premium position. History tells us otherwise. Look at the greatest defenses in football history. The 49ers dynasty had Ronnie Lott patrolling the back end. The Legion of Boom wasn't the Legion of Boom without Earl Thomas erasing mistakes over the top. Those players didn't just play safety, they changed the geometry of the field. And right now, the 49ers don't have that. So how do you fix it? Option 1, free agency. You go out, spend real money, and bring in a veteran who can stabilize the position immediately. The upside is experience, the downside, cap space is tight, and you've already got multiple areas that need attention. Overpaying at safety could cost you help elsewhere. Option 2, the draft, and this is where it gets interesting. At the top of this draft class sits Caleb Downs, who looks like a game changer, range, instincts, physicality, the kind of player who doesn't just fill a hole, he transforms a defense. The problem, there's almost no scenario where he casually falls into the 49ers' lap. If you want him, you're likely talking about a trade-up. Now let's connect the dots. If you move Mac Jones and pick up extra day to capital, suddenly you have ammunition, you have flexibility. You can maneuver, you can package picks. You can be aggressive instead of reactive, and even if Caleb Downs is off the board, this safety class has depth. There are mid-round players with box ability, range traits, and hybrid skill sets that fit exactly what this defense needs. especially if the 49ers lean into a scheme that emphasizes versatility and downhill physicality. Let me ask you something. Would you rather draft a safety early and build him into the future anchor of this defense, or sign a veteran stopgap and hope it holds together? Be honest. Because if this team wants to get back to dominating defensively, it can't ignore the back end. You can have the best pass rush in the world, but if the coverage behind it breaks down, it doesn't matter. The modern NFL attacks the middle of the field. Tight ends, slot receivers, motion concepts. If your safeties can't diagnose and close, you're cooked. And here's the uncomfortable part. The 49ers have multiple roster cracks right now. Safety is just the most obvious one. So if you're John Lynch and you're staring at a draft board with extra picks from a potential quarterback trade, safety has to be circled in red ink. If Caleb Downs somehow slides, do you sprint the card in? Or do you believe this team has bigger needs elsewhere? Drop your answer in the comments. Because when we zoom out, this isn't just about one position. This is about whether the 49ers are a tweak away or whether this roster needs more of a retool than people want to admit. Here's the part nobody really wants to say out loud. This roster is not one piece away. That doesn't mean the 49ers aren't contenders. It doesn't mean the window is closed. It just means this team has more structural needs than people are comfortable admitting. Start with the offensive line. You can't keep pretending it's fine. Depth is thin. Interior consistency hasn't been good enough. When games tighten up in January, pressure up. The middle kills you. If you're serious about protecting Brock Purdy long-term, that position group has to be reinforced. Then look at the pass rush. When it's humming, this defense looks dominant. When it's not, everything behind it starts to unravel. You need another edge who can win one-on-one. Someone offenses actually have to account for. You can't rely on scheme pressure alone in the playoffs. Now layer in the wide receiver situation, speed, separation, depth. This offense thrives when spacing is clean and explosive plays are available. If defenses don't fear your vertical threat, they compress the field. That makes everything harder for your quarterback and your run game. So let me ask you straight up, are the 49ers one piece away, or is this more of a mini retool? Type one piece or retool in the comments. I want to see how you see it. Because this is where the Mac Jones decision becomes more than just a quarterback conversation, it becomes philosophy. If you believe this roster is still in a full championship window, you get aggressive. You convert surplus into impact. You move draft capital around. You attack weaknesses, you don't sit still. And historically, John Lynch doesn't sit still. This front office works the phones. They trade up, they trade back, they manipulate the board. You rarely see them just sit at their original slot and calmly make a predictable pick. That's not how they operate, so imagine draft night. Imagine extra day to picks in your pocket. Suddenly you have options, package picks to move up for a safety. Grab a starting caliber guard, add another pass rusher with juice. All of that becomes possible if you're willing to move a luxury piece. You can only play one quarterback at a time, that's just math. Now here's the other side of it. What if you keep Mac Jones? You maintain elite depth at the most important position in sports. You protect yourself against injury. You stabilize the floor of your season. That's not crazy either. But eventually the value equation tips. If the offer is strong enough, it becomes difficult to justify holding a backup when multiple starting spots need upgrades. And this is where I need you locked in with us all off-season, because these are the conversations that matter. If you're enjoying this kind of breakdown, make sure you're subscribed right now. We're pushing toward 2,000 subscribers, and every single one of you helps build this community stronger. Hit that button and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Now, before we close this out, we've got to zoom out even further. Because this isn't just about one trade or one draft pick. It's about the championship window. This is where it gets real. Every offseason tells you something about where a franchise believes it stands. Conservative teams protect depth and hope internal growth fixes flaws. Aggressive teams identify weaknesses and attack them head-on. So what are the 49ers going to be? Because make no mistake, this is still a championship window with Brock Purdy under center. He's proven he can operate at a high level in big moments. He's steady, he's efficient, he's fearless in structure. But windows don't stay open forever. The NFL doesn't allow that. Cap hits grow. Contracts stack up, depth erodes. That's why this Mac Jones conversation matters so much. If you move Mac Jones, you're making a statement. You're saying, we believe in our starter. We trust our coaching staff to develop depth. Again, and we're going to use every available resource to strengthen the weak spots on this roster. If you keep him, you're prioritizing stability. You're saying we're not risking quarterback security. We'll patch the rest through smaller moves. Neither choice is reckless. But one is clearly more aggressive. Now imagine this scenario for a second. You trade Mac Jones, you acquire today to picks. You package one of them to move up and secure a starting safety who can actually change the way this defense plays. You use the other to grab a legitimate offensive line contributor or an edge rusher with burst. That's how you turn a good roster back into a dangerous one. And here's the wild part. If Mac Jones lands somewhere like Minnesota or Pittsburgh and thrives, that actually reinforces your system's reputation. It becomes proof that quarterbacks grow here. That Kyle Shanahan maximizes talent, that this environment elevates players. But you can't let fear of what if he succeeds somewhere else dictate roster construction. You build for your team, so I'll leave you with this. If you could make one move this offseason, just one, what is it? Is it trading Mac Jones for draft capital? Is it drafting a safety early? Is it reinforcing the offensive line? Is it adding another pass rusher? Drop your answer in the comments. I read them. And I want to know how the faithful sees this. And before we wrap this up, let me talk to you directly for a second. If you believe in this team, if you believe the next Super Bowl run is coming, then you're part of this with us. We're building this channel the same way the 49ers build a roster, piece by piece, move by move. We're pushing toward 2,000 subscribers, and every single subscription matters. Hit that button, turn on notifications, and stay locked in. And if you really want to fuel the quest for the next Super Bowl trophy with us, use the Super Thanks or Hype feature. That's not a donation, that's you investing in better production, deeper breakdowns, and stronger coverage for the faithful. You're helping upgrade the playbook for this entire community. This offseason is going to define a lot. The Mac Jones decision, the safety solution, the aggressiveness of this front office, the window is open. The question is, how bold are the 49ers willing to be?